I'm recorded.
Sweet.
Okay.
Thank you. So somebody was talking when we got cut off. Who was that?
Emily?
Was it
Yeah,
Emily?
it was Emily.
Sounded like Emily.
I don't know if she's on it.
Going down.
Do you guys have it so you could see all the participants?
I can only see like 4 at a time.
Yeah, I can see all of them.
In the upper right-hand corner, there's a little thing that you push and you can see all of them.
Gallery view?
Next to speaker view, I think it's over there.
Okay.
All right. Casey, you're on mute right now, it looks like. There.
I am?
There you go.
There you go. I feel like the Brady Bunch.
I was just being.
Awesome. Yay. Okay, we're talking about paid trainings. What was the last thing? Was Emily, you said you were speaking? Yanya?
I don't think Emily's on now. I don't see her number.
Okay. Let's see if she can get back. Sorry. All right, just want to.
Yeah, there she is.
Okay, good. Emily, did you want to continue finishing what you were saying?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
I think paid trainings.
Or orientation and role model.
Oh, yes. Go into a job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just find it really important when people really like put themselves out there and they really want to like, I don't know, just help you be the best you can be. Like whether that means like small things or big things, like showing you where everything is or showing you the ropes, or I don't know. I just think it's important when someone puts themselves out there as a trainer.
Yeah, and they're welcoming you.
Like it sucks to be left hanging. So I find that really important as an employee somewhere. Like
Yeah,
I would hate to like be lost somewhere if I were just hired, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Has anybody had that experience where you started a job and you didn't feel like the people were really investing in you?
Yeah.
I work at the VA.
Yeah.
Government training.
What'd you say, Casey?
I said I work at the VA, so government training is pretty much you sit down and then you start work without training.
Oh, right.
Hope for the best.
Terrible.
Some people just excel, you know. You might be one of those people that every time you've gotten a job, you've done your best and you excel, but it really doesn't make you feel good. Like, wow, this company cared enough to invest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I often talked about that with my team, is that I started at Canyon Ranch, and the very first day, my boss called out sick, my first day of work. And he didn't even have a plan B. And I was like, I didn't really know what to do, and I was kind of wandering, and I felt like people were just handing me off to different people. And I really, in retrospect, wish he had just called me and said, you can start tomorrow. So I think when you're starting your own business, if you have the opportunity to have employees or if you're a manager at some place, think about some of those experiences that you had and try to set people up for success in a different way. But I would also ask that when you're interviewing. Tell me what the first couple weeks look like. What's the expectation? What kind of side work do I have to do? Just so you're not surprised.
And you want to make sure you're doing what you're expected, and if you're not, and nobody's telling you, and then you think you're doing a great job, and then you're like, oh, there's all these other things I was supposed to do I wasn't aware of, or that could set you up for
Yeah,
great things.
I totally agree. And I interview a lot of people, and when I interview them, they often tell me stories about other places they work, so I kind of learn more about the other places from them.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the people have mentioned to me that they'll be going to a space and then They don't know if their supplies are going to be all there. They don't know if they're going to run out of oil. They don't know if they're going to run out of sheets. I remember this one place at the Red Door in New York City that was like a really high-end spa, and we were interviewing people that had worked there. They wanted to work for us. The guy said that by the time the people got on his massage table, that they were already so upset that they were like, there was no maybe hot water in the showers, or things weren't tidy. And so he always felt like, as a massage therapist, he was trying to make people feel better after they had an unpleasant experience in the other space. And so it kind of felt, for him, it felt like no matter how good his massage was, he wasn't able to really satisfy guests because they kind of came in kind of angry.
They're already angry.
So it's something good to keep in mind. Who do you want to surround yourself with on your team? Because everyone's really focused on each other.
I want to show you what guys when it shut down.
Somebody talking? Marguerite, you're making dinner and it's kind of noisy. Unless you're going to share with everybody.
I'm so sorry. I was actually just doing my dishes, so
Yeah.
trying to multitask and also handle my 10-year-old. So, okay.
Marguerite, did you read the article on effectiveness of multitasking?
No, I didn't. But I heard that it's actually not that effective.
Bingo. Yes. And I think I can relate to that more and more. I used to find pride in the fact that I could do
Thank
5
you.
things.
I'm glad to be an example for the class, Michelle.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
You're all welcome.
Thank you.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
That's okay. No, it's totally fine. We're talking about different cultures, and I think we briefly talked about that in the discussion board. And I think that that's something that that should just be maybe to the forefront of your mind, whether you're creating your own business or that you're going to work for one. But what kind of place do you want to work? What kind of culture do you want to be involved with? And kind of know those answers before you actually go on the interview or before you start your own business. Has anybody read the book, The Law of Attraction?
No.
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it?
I've
So
wanted to read it. Yeah.
what'd you say?
I've wanted to read it, but I haven't.
Yeah, I suggest it. It's a really short read.
You
You could read
recommend
it.
it? Yeah.
It really kind of changed my life. I read it about 14 years ago when I was going through some really tough times. And I read that book and it really changed my paradigm. And one of the things it talks about, though, is like, what are you attracting to you? And when people say, geez, bad things always happen to me, then bad things really always will happen to you. Do you know what I mean?
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
And when I used to say, well, people don't really talk to me about gossip, I realized it's because I kind of don't really listen to gossip. So I guess nobody really tells me anything. But I didn't really understand that for a while. Because like attracts like. Did you ever know if you go to a culture of a business and you know these certain groups of people kind of are cliquey, whether it's good or bad? Maybe it is negative, and all those negative people kind of find each other. And all the positive people find each other. And it's because of the law of attraction. So when you know that about yourself and what you need, I think we talked about that in class a little bit. Like, what do you need in a workplace? How do you prosper the most? Like, how would it make you be your best massage therapist and your best self? Just make sure that you know that, and that way when you go on the interviews, you can talk about that and say, oh, this isn't for me. Because chasing the money might not be the only thing. Sarah put in her document, she called HR to find out like average number of hours massage therapists work and average pay. Did anybody see that? If you had a chance to look at that? It's pretty interesting.
No.
She wrote for 18 hours a week, that therapist made $42,583. Another therapist worked 7 hours a week, average, they made $15,000. So 18 hours a week and $42,000 is pretty good pay. I think, my opinion.
pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
Where were they practicing, Michelle?
that's at the inn.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Sarah called HR and got the information from HR so we would have real data for you. And when I send you Mark's stuff from Deep Roots, he had some pay information too. And so you'll see that as well.
Okay.
But you could ask that question in the interview. Like, how much money does your average massage therapist make? How many hours does your average massage therapist work? And if you're interested in full-time and that you need benefits, go ahead and ask. Do you ever offer benefits for full-time, or do you ever offer full-time positions for a therapist? And if so, what are the hour requirements? Because like at the Cliff House, my friend that works there, she has full-time benefits at 24 hours a week.
Wow.
Nice.
Do you have
Yeah.
full-time at the spa, Michelle?
Excuse me?
Do you have full time at the spa?
We have very little full-time at the spa.
Okay.
In the 7 years, we really have very little. But our goal is in the next couple of years to add more full-time.
And what would that, do you have a requirement for what that would be hour-wise?
It's going to be 30.
Okay.
And that also doesn't mean 30 hours of just massage. It means your prep time and everything as well.
Okay.
And also that is just an average. Most companies have to have an average over 1 year to keep your benefits. So it's not like it has to be every week.
Gotcha.
But at least then you get the benefits and you get your paid time off and things like that. So, hey, if that is important to you, find that. And then you're just kind of weighing the pros and cons of the other things, because for some people, that's huge, the benefits. For some people, that's like yes or no on a job.
Yeah.
But they do exist. And not that I'm just talking about spas. I don't want it to ever be like I'm slanting that. Even though I work at a spa, like I feel like as from a massage therapist, and I'm married to one, and I was just with my friend who's a massage therapist. So I kind of somehow have lots of people around me that are therapists. I guess I like you guys. Even though I could never do massage, people often say, "Are you a massage therapist?" I'm like, I do not like to touch anybody. Like, no desire to touch people. So I know my strengths, but I feel like I could support massage therapists. One of the reasons I got in this role is because I have this other part of me that loves to organize and support the artist people. And so if I can support people to do their best work, then I feel like I'm actually part of that giving, part of that guests love massage and that wellness part. So even though I can't do the work, I feel like, hey, I'm part of it because I'm helping. But there are a lot of ways to practice this, and I don't ever want to seem like I'm just about the spa. I just talk about kind of what I know very well. But I think that if you have this gift and you want to give, you should just figure out kind of what works best for you and not even think that this needs to be the way you practice forever. I know lots of people that have jumped around, and actually probably half of my staff has a private practice as well as work at the spa because they like the variety too. And I think that most people kind of want to do more than one thing. It's totally fine.
So they work for you and they have their own practice, so there's no non-compete kind of.
No, I kind of don't believe in the non-compete stuff. And I would, if somebody made you sign one, I guess I would really kind of analyze why they want that. Mm-hmm. I do tell my therapist that I'm never going to just kind of hunt you down. I know people practice right in town. You can't take any of our guests from the spa to your private practice. Mm-hmm. But I'm also not going to be looking for that. But if I find out, then that would be grounds for termination.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we all need to have like an ethics. You have to be ethical. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to trust people until they prove me that they can't be trusted. Yeah. Because we're in this business for wellness.
Mm-hmm. Client comes into the spa and is seeing a particular therapist that's also practicing in town, and then says, "Oh, are you available at this time?" and specifically seeks to see them in their personal practice.
I'd say you'd have to say no.
Just say it's not.
Say, unfortunately, I can't see you outside of the spa because you're a spa guest, and I'd love to work my schedule around meeting your needs at the spa. Mm-hmm. I know that it could be harsh in some people's eyes, but that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
And so to be respectful for everybody, because you'll see when you get out there to get a unique customer, it's challenging to get. they call them customers, but it's, or guests, just think of it either way. But a unique person to get in your business costs companies thousands of dollars with marketing and a satisfied customer. So people protect their customer bases because of that. So I guess the only exceptions would be if you had a modality that was specific or something that was outside the spa that we didn't offer, then I would say that there's some way we can talk about what that means. But if it's the same thing outside of our building, we would say no. It's never
What
happened
if they
to me.
were a client?
Go ahead.
What if they were a client of the individual and then went to the spa and then wanted to go back to the individual? Then would you terminate their contract then?
No, that's a great question. I've had therapists bring in their people to have body treatments and some of the fun stuff that we have, or enjoy the steam room, sauna, whirlpool. And they've told me straight up, this is my guest from my private clients, and I'm bringing them to the spa. And I say, awesome, thank you.
Mhm.
Yep. Good question. What I don't want to keep you guys on the line too long because we said it was just going to be an hour. What other questions do you have that I can help answer, perhaps?
I mean, one of the ones that I was going to ask at the panel is, what do people comment on most often when they visit your business? I've been to the Woodstock Inn Spa and seen that that's just a gorgeous space, but like, what sort of feedback do you usually get?
From the Woodstock Inn, we often hear people say that it's the best massage they've ever had.
Nice.
And I'm really shocked by that. I have to be honest with you. And I often say the reason why that happens is because they have a good experience from like the reservations to the check-in to the locker room. So they kind of get handed to the massage therapist in a way that they already feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the massage therapists we have are all very talented, every one of them. And I often say when people say, who's your best? We don't have the best. They're all really good. We don't hire anybody that's not good. It's just personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come out and they say everything was just perfect and they had the best massage, probably because they're really relaxed. And people can experience massage best when they are in a good setting and are treated well. And so when you start your private practice, I think you should look at the entrance of your private practice, the parking, where they're going to use the restroom, where do they hang their coat, just the comfort stuff. So people feel like kind of calm. I often tell the host and hostess who are locker room attendants, we call them host and hostess because I feel like you should greet people like they're in your own house.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe you think of that even if you're in your private practice. How do you want to be greeted? What are your expectations? Because massage is so personal. After a while, all of you are very comfortable with massage and you're just like, let me get on the table. And you don't care. You're not really modest. You know what to wear. You're fine with draping. But always have the beginner's mind of what people feel like their first time.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe remember what it felt like for you that first time in clinic when they're like, you're going to be undressed now in front of your classmates. And you're like, oh. And then by the end of clinic, you're like, oh, I don't care. I don't even need the draping. It's fine. You're fine. Everyone's so comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But guests with a draping, oh man, I would say probably out of anything you can do to make somebody feel comfortable, no draping. And have people feel secure. Because when they feel like that it might slip, they have a hard time relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
So you meant that is K-N-O-W, not
Yeah.
N-O. So you know the draping, you know how to no draping at all. You're naked.
That's right. Thank you for the clarification. That could have been really bad.
Realize what you meant by that.
Way to go, Erin.
Yes, perfect.
I'd like to add to that too. I just recently, not with the draping part, but I just recently got a massage from somebody, and she was telling me how she was working on another therapist on that other therapist's table, and apparently that therapist never actually laid on her table. So she had no idea that her table was actually completely uncomfortable to her clients. So I would not just like your decor or the way you present your own business, but also what the clients even use during your business, because that's also a huge thing too.
I agree.
That's a great
We
point.
often tell our therapists to lay on the table and look exactly at what the guest sees, because you might have a bunch of dust bunnies underneath there. You see through the face cradle cover and you had no idea.
Yeah.
And your sheets, they have to be comfortable. And, are they cold? Are they too hot? Can you feel all the little pill marks on those? Making sure that Melanie, that's such a great point. Trying all your supplies on yourself first.
Mm-hmm. To
know what your guests, and when we train people at our spa, you have to feel everything you're going to give. That's part of the training. You have to watch. So we have 3 parts training. You watch a therapist do the treatment, you feel the treatment on yourself, and the 3rd time you give it for every treatment that you get trained on.
That's awesome. I really like that, because I couldn't agree more, because she even said that she realized she had a face cradle, and the face cradle was completely scratchy and just uncomfortable. And it's like, I didn't realize that the clients were feeling this. So I thought it was a good point to bring up.
It is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have anything to add? I can change the subject just for a minute and say, is there any questions on the class itself that anybody wants to ask while we're all together?
Is there going to be clarification on the writing assignment for this week since the panel was canceled?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for like 48 hours now. Jeez, I had everything all lined up, all good. Now I have to think of it. So, yeah, I will change it just to make it more to what you're going to get in the handouts. And now you only have 2 handouts yet. You'll have to get 2 more. And I'll make it simple. Honestly, I don't want it to be, I don't want to set you guys up for failure. I just want you to get the most out of the experience. So don't worry that it's going to get too overwhelming at the end of the week, because I just don't want it to be that way for you. I think we can, I'll look at the questions again and kind of modify them. But I'm thinking you can use the handouts from the 4 people to answer the questions. Some of them you won't be able to answer at all. I have to really think of the discussion board, because that really changes everything on the discussion board.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to give that some thought. I already have all the weeks already done in advance, so I don't really want to change the course too much because it's already kind of laid out. So this might just be a good, easier week, because last week was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a little break going into your spring break, and then we can regroup again.
I was just going to ask, are we, I know the last time I took this class, when we had a break, the online portion didn't have a break. Does the online portion get a spring break this time? Or it does. Okay.
Yeah. Are you sure you didn't get a spring break last time?
Yeah, no, it went right through the break.
Yeah, I remember that also.
Well, no, you're definitely going to get a spring break, but this class is different because it starts on a Tuesday. The other classes used to go the week, Saturday to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
This class starts on a Tuesday, so this homework is all due Monday night, and then your spring break starts, but then you don't come back until the following Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still 7 days, just kind of sliced a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have a little break, and it's kind of strange in a 5-week class to have a week off, but we'll try to pull it together. Not get too off track. But Sue had made a mistake that she thought the class ended on the 27th, and then I counted and I was like, no, but it can't, because it'll only be 4 weeks. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
Did you have a question?
Adding 2 more employee answer things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I'll be sending those as soon as I get them. Hopefully I'll get them tomorrow. So I just might move the discussion board not to be due until another day, just to give you guys another day.
Cool.
Okay.
and then I'll modify it a little bit. So we'll make it reasonable is what I can say, and you can give me some feedback. I really just want you to get the most out of the information, because that's the point. Not, I just don't want to give homework to give homework. Like, it needs to make sense. You need to get something out of it. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to make sure you get enough out of the information. But you guys are doing great. I've taught this class. This is the 8th time. And you guys are, so far in the last couple of weeks, like the most engaged I've ever seen on the discussion board, and so supportive of each other and give such great answers and so thorough. I'm totally impressed. So thank you for that. These classes can be challenging enough to not have each other support each other. Yes, to you. So I know we're all busy, including me, and so I don't want to teach this class of like, oh yeah, you just got to do work. I want you to get something out of it and say that it was valuable for you. So keep your questions coming. Post them on the discussion board for everybody, or email me. You saw that I did the grades, so you can see your grade right now. And if you have questions, just keep answering, sending me questions. I try to respond quickly. Anybody else have anything you want to add? Marguerite, are you done with dinner yet?
So I put it on mute, Michelle, because I have my teenager and my 10-year-old running around, and was serving. So they're eating now. But I didn't think you wanted to partake in their basketball game, etc.
So you don't put your kids in the closet and just shut the door?
Not
well,
while there's
sometimes. Desperate times call for desperate measures, right?
Not when anybody's looking.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Good parenting tip. Thanks, Marguerite.
Yeah, sure. Glad I could help.
Anybody have any last questions or comments? All right. Nina, you and I have to connect about how we're going to get this.
Oh, good Lord. I'm so technologically challenged.
After the
we
last
might need Kat's
one,
help.
After the last one, it just came up and it said to me, it's saved. The audio is saved. The computer did it all by himself. I didn't have to do a thing. So hope that happens with you.
Okay, I hope so.
And then we'll have to figure out how you're going to post it online so we can all see it. But we'll connect through email.
Okay. Sounds good.
So benefited the other people that weren't on this call. I so appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy lives to get online. Did you think it was fun?
It was kind of fun.
It was an experience.
Oh, wait, I'm getting a limit of 40 minutes, blah, blah, blah. Click
You want
continue.
to upgrade for $14.99?
It says continue to enjoy your unlimited meeting. Oh, I have an unlimited meeting.
Huh?
I don't know.
Been upgraded
It
by
says this meeting has been upgraded by the host.
Oh, cute.
They just charged your bank
I know,
account.
hooking it up.
I don't have a bank account.
Credit card.
Oh, well, all right. Well, maybe we should have done that to begin with.
Whoever's on this call right now, I want to be able to take attendance so I kind of know, and I'll ask other people to send it to me once they record this. Can you send me an email that just says the word, what's the word?
Zoom.
Bird. Bird's the word.
Bird?
Bird's the word.
Send me an email with that, bird's the word, in the subject column.
Okay.
So that I'll just use that for attendance, just so I know who, if everyone, when they listen to the recorded one, they'll do the same thing. Okay. Have a great night, guys.
Thanks, you too.
You too.
Thank you. See you online.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
I stop recording, I guess.